The U.S. cavalry primarily relied on this single-shot carbine to end the Indian Wars, even though repeating rifles gained popularity in the late 19th century. The 19th century U.S. Army and the western frontier encountered distinctive challenges in warfare. The expansive open plains, seemingly endless deserts, and rugged mountain terrain hindered swift movements and resupply efforts. The Army engaged in a relentless pursuit of a cunning adversary, fighting for their homeland through guerrilla tactics. Given the necessity for a mobile mounted force to keep pace with the agile, elusive Native American fighters, much of the responsibility fell upon the cavalry, equipped primarily with the 1873 Springfield Trapdoor carbine. The Springfield Armory in Springfield, Massachusetts produced the single-shot Springfield, which was first introduced in 1873 to accept the new .45-70 government round. Although similar in appearance and function, both the carbine and longer rifle models underwent continuous subtle modifications. Detailing all the variations of the carbine here would be too extensive. It is sufficient to say that the 1873, 1877, 1879, and 1884 carbines, designated as official government models, were the main weapons provided to the U.S. cavalry during campaigns against Native American tribes. Even after the officers' model rifles and the 1886 experimental carbine were introduced. The Springfield .45-70 carbine, featuring a side hammer, weighed just 7 pounds and measured 41.3 inches in length, boasting a 22-inch round barrel. This firearm utilized the potent .45-70 government cartridge, firing a 405-grain lead bullet propelled by 70 grains of musket-grade black powder. Due to the smaller stature of cavalry soldiers, typically weighing between 135 to 150 pounds, the carbine often employed a lighter 55-grain powder charge to mitigate the recoil, which could negatively impact accuracy. Compared to the previous .50-70 round, the .45-70 proved to be more accurate and powerful for long-range shooting. Following the infamous Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876, the carbine faced criticism. However, historical analysis reveals that the perceived faults with the weapon were largely attributed to the fragility of the copper cartridges, rather than inherent flaws in the design of the initial 1873 Springfield, despite some minor weaknesses. The 1877 model, an upgraded version derived from the original 1873 Springfield, featured notable enhancements over its predecessor. These improvements included elongating the comb of the stock and shortening and thickening the stock's wrist, as well as reinforcing the breech block by filling in the high arch of the earlier design. Additionally, significant changes encompassed an upgraded rear sight and the incorporation of a 3-hole receptacle drilled into the buttstock to accommodate a 3-piece jointed steel ramrod and a headless shell extractor. A swiveling cover was added to the butt plate covering the drilled holes, giving rise to the term trapdoor. Furthermore, a 3-notch carbine safety notch tumbler lock mechanism, known as the 3-click hammer, was introduced, and the 1873 date was removed from the lock plate. The 1879 updates included enhancing the rear sight with a buckhorn eyepiece attached to the slide, allowing lateral movement for adjustments due to wind, drift, or any potential errors in the carbine or rifle. In addition, the carbine's barrel band stacking swivel was taken out. In the 1884 model, notable changes included the introduction of the Model 1884 Buffington rear sight and a modification to the breech block stamping, which now read U.S. Model 1884. By 1886, the firing pin transitioned from steel to an aluminum-bronze alloy, and in 1890, a rear sight protector barrel band and a front sight cover were incorporated. Production of this final model ceased in 1889. With nearly 61,000 carbines manufactured, the 1873 Springfield carbine, regardless of its specific variation, held significant importance on the frontier. Throughout much of the Indian Wars, it was predominantly this carbine in the hands of Army troopers across the West that saw action in numerous battles, conducted countless patrols, and performed scouting duties. Ironically, after the displacement of Native American tribes to reservations, the Army shifted its focus to safeguarding them from dishonest settlers. Undoubtedly, the 1873 Springfield carbine rightfully earns its place among the iconic firearms that decisively shaped the conquest of the American West.